Good day to all the participants of the International Conference on Industrial Engineering and Operations Management 2020. My name is Gabriel John de Leon from the Department of Industrial Engineering, De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines. My co-authors are Ms. Joana Patrice Gratuito and Mr. Ronaldo Polancos from the same institution. Here I will be presenting our research entitled The Interactional Effects of Page Layout, User Workload, and Lists in Improving the Single Usability Metric. With the advent of the internet and the digital platforms, people are now increasingly exposed to the digital environment, just like what we are doing right now in front of our screens. And many tasks that we used to do manually are now transitioning to online applications, which will require cognitive demands. This visual environment poses a complex adaptive challenge to users, especially with online websites that commonly contain usability issues. This study looked at the considerations in website design to improve its usability. Particularly, our research examined an e-government website, which is the Philippine Birth Certificate online application. Since the birth certificate is a necessity for every living across all demographics, the usability of this website is crucial. Based on initial testing and user feedback, it was found out that the website contains many usability issues, specifically on navigation, complexity, and clarity of information. Basically, we wanted to shift a system-centered website to a user-centered one. A review of related literature was conducted to identify and analyze several design factors that can be utilized to improve usability based on the conceptual logic and evidence from the previous studies. First, we have the page layout. Each of the design factors consists of sub-design factors, which indicate the specifics on how a certain factor can be improved. For page layout, we have the display density that considers the amount of clutter on a page, division of work areas for navigation and locating important elements for the task, page length on keeping all the necessary display with reduced scrolling, and the consistent placement of elements to develop user familiarity and ensure a better user experience. For the second design factor, we have the user workload. With automation, setting default values, and removing unnecessary inputs as the sub-design factors. And lastly, the lists, where the ordering of elements, capitalization, and proper usage were found to be the critical considerations on the usability of a website. Given this, we have established a framework that consists of the design factors. And so, from the initial usability testing, user feedback, and extensive literature review, relevant design factors were selected. These are page layout, user workload, and lists. Incorporating the design factors is aimed at improving the usability of the website as measured through the single usability metric. Thus, in this study, we would like to test the hypothesis if the overall page layout, reducing the amount of user workload, and proper use of lists would influence the usability of the website. The single usability metric, or SUM represents three usability dimensions. These are efficiency, effectiveness, and satisfaction. Then each of these dimensions is measured in terms of the following metrics: time on task, error rate, completion rate, and average satisfaction. The time on task is the amount of time to complete the tasks. Error rate is the proportion of number of errors to the number of error opportunities. Completion rate is the proportion of completed tasks over total task opportunities. And the average satisfaction comes from the scores obtained from after scenario questionnaire, or the ASQ. Now, we will look at the usability score of the current design, which we will refer here as design 0. Then later on, I am about to present the new design created, and we will compare their differences using the single usability metric. So how did we conduct the testing process? Here is the list of tasks performed. Basically, the procedures on requesting for a birth certificate. Various usability metrics are computed, and here are the data on completion rate, error rate, and the time per task. As we can see, the average completion rate for design 0 is at 73%. The error rate is at 9%, which means that the average quality rate is at 91%. And the average total time to perform the task is 464.76 seconds. The satisfaction score is not here because it is for the overall procedure and no per task data is available. Now here it is. We have the quality level for each usability metric. These quality levels are standardized by getting their corresponding z-scores using the standardization techniques in Six Sigma. And after obtaining the standardized score for each metric, the SUM was computed by getting the average of these four. The metrics are treated with equal weights. Furthermore, we added a sigma factor of 1.5 that accounts for a drift in the process over time, totaling 1.9345. It is almost, but did not reach 2 sigma. So based on these results, we say that the design 0 is operating at 1 sigma level. To improve design 0, a new design was developed by addressing the design issues of the current website as guided by the research framework. And the Microsoft Excel Visual Basic was used. For the succeeding slides, I will show you the current design, or the design 0, and the newly developed design, which is the design 1. Okay, so on your screen right now is the current design of the contact information page. Some of the issues tried to address here, as you can observe, are too long text instructions. These were shortened with no loss of clarity for the new design. We also have obvious instructions that add to the visual density. Moreover, the tax identification number as input is optional, as indicated, since it will not derail the accomplishment of the application. This unnecessary input is removed. Now this is the new design. We are still able to obtain the information needed with a simpler page and without the need for scrolling. Required input is divided into two clear groups: the requester's information and delivery address. During this layout change, also avoided frequent shift from the keyboard and mouse. The zip code is now automatic, and for every page, the first entry field is automatically activated so that the user can type the necessary information without moving the cursor. Here is the next page from the current design, which is the requests summary page. There are issues that are the same with the previous page I have shown you, and also the change slash edit button can simply be edit, right? And based on user testing, it was found out that this change slash edit button is difficult to locate because it is located in the peripherals. The new design developed for the requests summary looks like this. Next, if the user would like to add a request, the page to fill up for the current design would be this one. The current design uses a drop-down list for the sex selection. However, it has only two options, male and female. The use of radio buttons instead of a drop-down list is actually more appropriate for this case. Also, the use of asterisks as required fields is confusing. The number of copies is not required, and some are placed in between text boxes. On this page, I would like to emphasize the items on the list on the category relationship to the birth certificate's owner. They are unnecessarily arranged alphabetically with some flaws. This makes it difficult for users to search for the commonly used items, and the others item must be placed at the end of the list. This is the new design developed for the add request page. The amount is automatically computed after indicating the number of copies requested. A no is on default for the registered late question since it is the most common answer. Basically, this saves time. Also, since design 0 displays all the letters in each item on the list in capital letters, the new design only capitalizes the first letter of each word. This concept is based on, again, literature review. We also placed the others item at the end of the list, as usual. The single usability metric of the new design is then computed to see if there are improvements after incorporating the changes based on the design factors considered. Using the same procedure we did with design 0, the quality level of each usability metric is obtained. And then they are standardized through their z-score equivalents. The resulting process sigma for design 1 is 3.7978. This means that the new design is operating at its 3 sigma level. From 1 sigma, now the new design development resulted to a 3 sigma. From this table, we can see that the quality level and z-score increased across all metrics. We can therefore conclude that the framework consisting of the design factors on web design development are deemed effective in improving the single usability metric score of the website. We have seen that the SUM of the birth certificate application website increased from 1 sigma to 3 sigma. Based on the usability tests conducted, the hypothesis is proven to be true. Indeed, the overall page layout, reducing the amount of workload, and the appropriate use of lists influence the usability of the website. And yes, the new design has improved from 1 sigma to 3 sigma level, which means that the percentage of defects has decreased by 62%. With a process sigma of 3, there will be 66,807 defects per million, or 6.7% percentage defects. Now to close, here are the recommendations of the study. First is to develop more design iterations until the target of 6 sigma level is achieved. So we had design 1. We can also have design 2, design 3, and other iterations until we achieve the target. Secondly, design factors other than those considered in this study can be explored and we can identify other improvement areas. Finally, the research framework established by this study can be applied to other kinds of websites to further strengthen the obtained results. That is all, and thank you very much.